Hey guys, welcome back to Sports with Mono and Mono. I'm Jim. I'm here with my partner Steve. It's August 28th, 2021. Welcome, partner.
Thank you, James. And
Lots
here we
going
are,
on.
end of August, and before you know it, Santa Claus will be here.
I know. It literally is less than like 3 months.
This year
or
is
something.
flying.
It's gone. It's gone. It's been a crazy year. But let's. There's a lot of stuff for us to talk about this week, and I know I have the monologue this week, so I'm going to jump right into it. All right, and I rarely start off our show on a down note, but we could turn this note into a positive. It's Rod Gilbert, number 7 for the New York Rangers, passed away at the age of 80, and my thoughts on him is just indelible in my mind. You know, not only was he a great player for the Rangers, known as Mr. Ranger, right? Number 7, played in an era with Mickey Mantle and Walt Frazier and Joe Namath, and he held his own. He was 80 years old. He passed away. And I wanted to bring this up. He's the all-time leader in goals and points for the New York Rangers. First Ranger to have his number retired, deservedly so, as you and I talked about on the show many times. Being able to, get that accolades from your particular franchise. And on a personal note, I met Rod Gilbert several times. And it was before the era of cell phones, because I would have loved to have had a picture with him. He was a gracious, kind man, knowledgeable, and just an ambassador for hockey. And I just, it was a big loss when I heard that. And I just wanted to bring that up. And our monologue, like I said, I think we turned it into a positive because he was such a great representative of New York City and the sports world. And he just, he went to games, he helped guys. And I think you had some story about Rod Gilbert, and I want you to bring it up. But I just wanted to R.I.P. Mr. Gilbert, 80 years old, number 7, New York Rangers.
Yeah, I'm glad. Good monologue, great monologue, and I'm glad that you brought up Rod Gilbert as our first topic of our show. When I heard the news, very saddened.
Yep.
Is our whole audience Ranger fans? No, but it's a big loss for hockey, right? We talked about Tony Esposito a few
weeks ago, yeah.
Right? I mean, guys like that. Hockey fans know Rod Gilbert and what he meant to the New York Rangers. Gracious, French-Canadian guy, and, he came to New York City. And like you said, I mean, it was Joe Namath, Walt Frazier, the Mets, and Rod Gilbert was the Rangers. I mean, New York sports at that time, I don't think can be topped. I mean, for that stretch of, late 60s type of thing.
It was.
But when you thought of the New York Rangers back then, and they got to the Stanley Cup Finals. And, it came very close. And as you said, all-time leader and everything for the Rangers.
Yep.
And the story I wanted to reference was I saw a video of him. Ron Duguay became very close with Gilbert. Ron Duguay was a number 1 draft pick of the Rangers, and like 78, 79.
And had to have his head shaven as an initiation as a rookie, remember?
Right. And you can see the
he
hair.
was known for the Bon Jovi hairdo.
Well, you can see that the hair came back.
Right.
But when Brian Leetch scored that, basically cemented the Stanley Cup against the Vancouver Canucks.
Yep.
They flashed to Gilbert and Duguay up against the glass. And you could just see them turn to each other. You could see, number 1, my first observation.
The old and the new guard kind of thing,
was their
right?
friendship,
Yeah.
number 1. Number 2, they're Rangers. And number 3, they're there witnessing the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
That's a trifecta.
You bet.
And listen, I was sad to hear the news.
Yeah.
Rod Gilbert, great
Just
guy.
a great guy in sports in general. That's exactly how you carry yourself after an illustrious career. And
right.
it's just
Great looking guy, did very well with the ladies. I could only imagine.
But here's
in Midtown Manhattan.
And when I met Rod Gilbert, I was also talking with Boom Boom Jeffrey on. This was a golf outing, and I was a waiter. I was at my tables are backing up with coffee cups, and I'm talking to these these two legends in hockey. How cool is that?
I'm so glad you brought up Boom Boom Jeffrey because a buddy of mine a couple days ago, remember the Miller Lite commercials?
Of course.
And Boom Boom Jeffrey was part of that, man.
It was tough, yeah.
But I completely forgotten we're Rodney Dangerfield fans.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking, and he throws out the line. The commercial.
We only need one pin, Rodney.
We need one pin, Rodney. It was Ben Davidson of the Oakland Raiders in his ear.
I thought it was.
I swear to God, I had to pull my car over
Yeah.
because I was laughing so hard. I completely forgot about it. We need one pin, Rodney. Bowling.
Those were legendary commercials back in the day.
How funny.
That's great.
I'm Boom Boom Jeffrey.
Well, listen, anyway, our monologue was sponsored by Coriano Trucking from Summerhill, New York. And
Happy birthday, Mr. Coriano.
yes, the president of said company had a birthday this week.
Probably your 29th birthday again.
Yeah, exactly. But thanks for a loyal sponsorship of the show, Guy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
But Steve, let's start off with the boxing match that you and I touched on last week. And listen, Manny Pacquiao, he lost this fight to a guy who was a fill-in, but the guy actually won the fight. But
He did.
It does not diminish Pacquiao's record, how tough and ferocious he was. It was actually cool, but he was 42 years old, and I don't know.
I do handicapping in those sports, and I don't know anybody who's got everything right. And again, I mentioned
Who was favored in that fight?
Manny Pacquiao.
He was favored, huh?
And I had mentioned that I have a connection to Manny Pacquiao, one of my dearest friends from Boston University, is his head of security, etc. Blah blah blah. I don't think I was tainted by that. I just thought Manny Pacquiao would win this fight. 42 years old, but I'm telling you, he lost. He got beat up.
I got sneakers older than 42.
He got beat up. He lost the fight.
Yep.
And
But there will be a rematch. I can guarantee it. It's
Yeah.
going to happen.
and at the top of my head, I'm going. I think he's 62 and now 9.
Right.
That's not bad.
Pretty good record.
Yeah.
But let's move on to Major League Baseball, Steve, because there was a milestone that took place, right? Miguel Cabrera hit his 500th home run.
Miggy.
And listen, we looked at his numbers. They're pretty good. He's going to the Hall of Fame, and 500's a tough number to catch these days. So
Yeah, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
And he's going to get 3,000 hits either this season or early next. I don't know.
He's on pace for next year, probably May, June,
Right.
something like that.
That'll be his final season, right?
He may
What's
not.
he in the league? 18
He
years?
may not announce that and do the rocking chair type of thing, but I would think once he hits those milestones.
General Grant.
I don't
you know.
see the Detroit Tigers winning the World Series next year.
No, I don't see that happening either. But listen, he's been a solid player. Last player to win the Triple Crown, which
Yeah.
is like as tough as it could possibly get, right?
Right. I mean, that's like the Triple Crown in horse racing. Carl Yastrzemski, 1967, was the last guy to win that.
Before Cabrera.
So what a drought it was.
Yeah.
You know?
But he's actually been a classy player too. He's really
He's become a classy player. He was a
rabble rouser.
He was a problem child in his youth.
Oh, I did not know that.
No,
That's
he
my
wasn't.
Johnny
He
Carson.
wasn't a bad guy. He was just like immature type of thing. But once he settled in, right, he was a member of the Marlins.
Yes, he was.
And and propelled the Marlins to the success they had.
And good milestone. So 500, as we said, is hard to get to. You know who's next on the list? Nelson Cruz.
Yeah,
Which you wouldn't think. That'd be, that wouldn't have been my first guess. But who else?
you're right. I wouldn't have thought of that. But
He's going to get 500 home runs.
so what are we talking? Harold Baines here?
I think Harold Baines has got better numbers.
Compiler.
Exactly. He's 41, maybe even 42 years old.
He
He's,
may be.
he's one of the oldest guys in the league. But
Yeah.
that's who's next on the 500 list.
Yeah, but when I think of Nelson Cruz, if he gets to 500, does that mean he's automatically in the Hall of Fame?
No,
No.
that shouldn't mean that.
It shouldn't, but it typically does. But my own opinion, when I think Nelson Cruz, great career, I don't think Hall of Fame.
And I think Hall of Fame, Derek Jeter's getting inducted. Isn't it this weekend or it's coming up?
Well,
or
it's
something,
coming up,
right? That's a Hall of Famer. So you want to.
Does Derek Jeter belong in the Hall of Fame? Yes.
Next question, please. Right.
I'm happy for this.
Right. So let's move on with You and I talked about this, that it was a long game, 6-hour game, Padres Dodgers last week, right? During the week,
Yeah,
actually.
only a few days ago.
I mean, and it's 6-hour baseball game. I love it, but it's West Coast kind of thing. So I don't know who stayed up for it, but the Dodgers.
Well, when they cut the beers off in the 7th inning, I mean, you got to be a real good baseball fan.
I think in LA
to endure that.
I think in LA they let you leave the stadium, go have a couple beers, and come back.
They better.
Right, but they played the Padres, who were struggling, and talking about the Padres. Everybody wants to see this kid Tatis play. I sure do, because I like him.
Well, they got to win.
But they fired Larry Rothschild because these guys Darvish and Snell, they're not coming through.
Larry Rothschild, resume aside, deserved to get fired. Somebody was going to be the fall guy.
Okay,
They can't get out of their own way right now.
right.
And the Giants and Dodgers are winning.
They're
So,
unbelievable. They're loaded.
Yeah. But
Former St. Joe's guy on San Francisco Giants, starting second
you
baseman
better
Tommy
believe it. Tommy
LaStella.
LaStella, sure.
We always throw that cheap plug in there.
Yeah.
But how about the Yankees? Right, just won their 13th straight game, first time since at least 1961.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, quite a turnaround, right?
Yes, I'm starting to eat crow, and everybody knows I'm a big Yankee fan. I'm just
You know what number I'm thinking of them getting to, right?
But things were so bad pre-Gallo, pre-Rizzo trades, right? Everybody's calling for Cashman's head.
And Boone's head.
I never did, okay? Because Brian Cashman's got a 30-year resume.
But I've had other people tell me, about his pitching choices. Listen, I like Montgomery. They got some pretty good pitchers.
Listen, everybody can criticize Aaron Boone. It's easy. He's the only guy to win 100 games in his first two years,
seasons,
right?
I know.
But let me, while we're on the Yankees, say something. Giancarlo Stanton. We've crushed him. I mean, murdered him.
We have.
I don't know if there's a correlation to him now playing the outfield and he's being Giancarlo Stanton.
I think that's overblown.
He had a big home run again.
He's hot.
He's
hot.
contributing like he should be.
Exactly.
This is what we
expected
2 years ago.
Exactly.
So I don't know when the hamstring is going to, the calf, the oblique,
something. Right.
something.
Exactly.
But I just wanted to acknowledge.
But when he's hot, he is hot.
But I just want to acknowledge he's a big part of why we won 13 in a row. And Aaron Judge is being Aaron Judge.
He hit a home run the other night against the Braves. I thought it was a foul ball
was a
down the
missile.
right field line, and it went 420 feet.
Right, or
This guy's got some power.
something. It was like the fastest velocity off the bat type of thing.
But I do like Rizzo and the
I
whole
love Anthony Rizzo.
Andrew Velasquez
I love
story.
Anthony Rizzo.
Everything's coming into
Anthony
play.
Rizzo looks like a New York Yankee first baseman should.
Yeah.
And he'd be nuts not to re-sign with the New York
He's not going anywhere.
I would hope not.
He's
I
not
would hope
going anywhere.
But we talked about this Velasquez kid. It's a great story from the Bronx.
Yeah.
He's contributing. Everything is going well.
And Jim Walsh, one of our listeners, brought that up. We go, that is cool. We love this.
But as good as they're playing, they're still 4.5 behind Tampa.
Exactly.
For the division.
That's right.
But they're up 6 now.
And look what's going on.
They're going to make the playoffs.
Right. The Reds are still in it. The Seattle Mariners are still in it. It's baseball is heating up, and then
The way they're playing, they may win 100 and exceed your 98 expectations.
right. And then you look on the other side of the river, and you got the Mets. Right, who I thought were going to run away with it because I always told you. But I said the Phillies, you don't have to worry about, and they're falling off the map, right? But the Atlanta Braves, with Acuna out, which is a major league player, they're still hanging in there.
That's a big loss, but the Braves are very talented, and they're finally hitting their stride. I've been waiting for this. And listen, the Mets losing, the Braves are separating themselves.
Right, but
they are winning.
But we watched the Mets and what's happened. It's amazing. Like I like the players. I've always said I like J.D. Davis. I like Conforto, and they're just having years. And I've been watching the Polar Bear, and he hasn't been coming through late. He hits home runs. He's going to hit 35 home runs, 36.
He's
whatever.
leading the Mets in RBIs, home runs, etc.
Right, but his average is
I
plummeting.
understand it.
That kind of thing.
So, what can I say about the Mets? They were in first place, I think it was 90 days. And now I think they're like 61, 67.
Yeah, they're like 5-6
And,
games under 500 now.
Mr. Rojas, I think, may
And doesn't it tie into
put up his house for sale in the offseason.
I guess when DeGrom went down, or he may come back, but the guys just
They'd be
haven't been
crazy
hitting.
to bring the DeGrom back.
But amazing with runners in scoring position that just nobody has been coming through.
Right, but
Crazy.
the thing is, it's the New York Mets.
I
Right?
got it. The
And
baseball is it's wide open, but you were absolutely right. The Dodgers and the Giants look great right
Formidable.
now.
Yeah.
Right now.
And quick on the Mets. ESPN is coming out with a 30 on 30 about the 86 Mets.
Yeah, I did see something.
I really
about
can't
that.
wait to see
Yeah,
this.
it looks
This
pretty
is
good.
going to be good stuff.
I was listening to Keith Hernandez and Darling talking about this
I'm
the other
Keith
day.
Hernandez.
As far as I know, I've already rounded second.
But I can't wait for that.
That's a story, actually. But it's amazing to think. I mean, there wouldn't be this story, there wouldn't be this 30 for 30 if it doesn't go through Bill Buckner's legs, right? It's crazy.
True. And I was actually at that game.
I'm sure. But anyway, baseball's heating up. Let's move on to the NFL. And the NFL segment is sponsored by Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut. And again, week after week, loyal sponsor of the show, and we thank them very much.
See.
So the NFL, Steve, we're getting close, right? Wrapping up preseason games, which I don't watch because I can't. It's a practice to me. But that's over, and the season's about to start next week. No, they get a week off, I think, so it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks out.
But what do you think? How the rookie quarterbacks doing in this thing? We like what we see in Wilson.
Yeah,
right,
well,
with the Jets.
I think the Jets did the right thing by not playing him last night. It was a 31-31 game. James Morgan, I think, is going to win the backup job with the Jets. I did a little research on this kid.
I don't know anything about him.
Exactly. I didn't know anything about him until Wednesday.
But do tell. You know.
This kid, I think, is going to win the job as the backup.
Where's he
Now,
out of?
He threw this ridiculous Hail Mary. The Jets tied it up. Again, preseason, 31-31, blah, blah, blah. I think he's a good quarterback. I think
Trevor Lawrence getting the starting job.
Yeah.
We didn't, but Andy Dalton, I think they should go with Justin Fields.
No,
right?
no, I mean-
you got to turn the page at some point. You know?
why did they sign Andy Dalton?
Because what do they think?
To start the first 3-4 games.
But is he going to win more games than Justin Fields was
It
as a
doesn't
rookie?
matter.
I don't know.
Andy Dalton is going to start. And Nagy already said he's starting.
I know. I'm sure he is, but I just think it's the wrong move for Chicago. Right? That's all. And interesting thing, right? John Gruden wanted Khalil Mack back, and then the Bears said thanks, but no thanks.
How
about that?
ridiculous is that for him to even say that?
I don't know how he.
If I was the Bears, I'd say, sure, you can have him back. I won 3 first-round picks.
Exactly.
You want him back? Sure, you can have him back.
So that'll be 6 first-round picks we've had with this guy, and but the Bears, he's a player, and I think that's the right.
John's not happy with the haul he got from the Bears.
God, he's just hasn't gotten it done in Vegas. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm starting to really.
Like he
been
had that one lucky
I've been
season.
a big Gruden guy in Gruden's camp, and he's knowledgeable and all
But
this.
look at his numbers; they're
Oh,
not
boy.
good.
No, you're right.
They're not good.
Hey, man.
And it's so funny because he used to.
And they're paying him $100 million.
Oh, he's Jimmy Johnson money. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
that
but
kind
he
of
ain't
stuff.
Jimmy Johnson results.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. But like I said, COVID. How about this? Starting to come back a little. Ryan Tannehill and these guys. And
Cole
listen,
Beasley.
if you test positive, right? That's a big controversial.
It
thing,
is.
But it's happening, and if you get it, you're missing 10 days, whether it's the start of the season or not.
Well, I'm still wary about it because it could shut down everything tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right?
And we'll
So
do
it's
our.
that unknown.
We're going to do our NFL preview show next
It's
week.
still the elephant in the room.
Right, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about in the NFL because like I said, the season starts, but we got some thoughts. And
How's your boy Daniel Jones doing this preseason?
well, you may get some preseason action tonight.
Yeah.
Sunday night against the Pats.
Okay.
But somebody asked me this, and I said, "Listen, it's practice. Him playing in a game, is it necessary for Joe Burrow to play in a preseason game before the first week of the
no,
season?"
because of his
no, but same thing with any quarterback.
I will say this. We had discussed, 3 weeks ago, Cam Newton, Mac Jones, right?
Yep.
And you actually threw it out there. You think Mac Jones could actually start for the Patriots? And I'm like, nah, Cam Newton.
It's possible.
Mac Jones in this practice versus the Giants completed 18 straight passes, was something like 35 for 40. Again, this is practice. I get it.
And then there's Cam being Cam
But the
as
point
well.
is, Mac Jones is impressing Bill Belichick and everybody in the Patriots organization.
Yeah.
So
Well, one of my
I'm going to take a step back and say I
There's a
I
possibility.
wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly. Thank you for that, because
You're
I
welcome.
think he's earning his way into this lineup.
Now, listen,
And Cam being Cam, and they don't need this.
whether he starts game one, whatever, Mac Jones is going to be the Patriots quarterback for the next 10 years.
You're absolutely right. Exactly right.
Right.
I agree 100%. one of my friend Tyler, he's a big Patriots fan, and he didn't get it. He was the one that sent me that Mac Jones picture that looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Totally.
But he looks pretty good in a football uniform, and he can throw the ball. So,
He's a smart kid,
he
too.
will be the quarterback.
And
of
he
the future.
grasps the
Yep.
concept. And I'm not saying he's Peyton Manning,
Yep.
but he's smart.
Yep.
Right?
One other thing I wanted to talk about, Steve, on the before we move off the NFL, because I saw this in the news and I was scratching my head. The big thing about the Buffalo Bills, like they need a stadium, like they're playing in some storage facility.
They need a stadium.
No, actually they don't.
Yes, they do.
I've been there 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it was absolutely perfect.
No.
I'm telling, and I talked to my Buffalo Bills fans, and they go, wait a minute. They put $100 million into that stadium. It's very, very nice. And they're not moving out of Buffalo. That will destroy Western New York.
No, they're
But
not.
I sat there, and it used to be called, when I went 3 years ago, it was New Era Field. But it was very, very nice.
It'll always
and
be
I
rich
listen,
stadium.
I've been to 15 Bills games going back 35 years.
Right.
And it's a formidable stadium. I don't get. Listen, nobody's going to throw the gavel down and sell their Bills tickets if they don't get a new stadium.
They're getting a new stadium.
But I've talked to Bills fans that say, I don't see the urgent need. Why the Bills? And Goodell's come out and said, we need a new stadium, like it's falling down, like Memorial Stadium in Baltimore.
But you
It's
just
not.
said they put $100 million in improvements.
But it's very, very
But there's
nice.
no ROI on it. They need a new state of the art stadium, and it's going to happen.
But the Bills fans sell out every single week,
I
no
get
matter
it,
where
but
they
they
play.
deserve to have a new stadium.
But I'm telling you, the Bills fans are saying it's not bad. It's pretty nice, and I'm telling
You
you.
know who needs a new stadium? The Giants and the Jets.
Yes, 'cause it's the ugliest.
I
looking
hate
stadium.
this place more than anything.
It looks like
and this is New York City.
Yeah.
And folks, I'm telling you, what an abortion they put up.
Well, if that's what the thinking is about these stadiums, that you can get people in and out quickly, you can't. We know that from the Meadowlands, no matter what kind of
I
stadium.
mean
you put
everything
in.
from the design of it to the flow of around the stadium.
I don't go to many games
but
anymore.
the
no.
Giant Jet. Oh my God! If anybody needs to knock something down, and this thing is what 10 years old or something,
Yeah.
what a joke, right?
But it's not going anywhere. So,
I understand that.
But you're right. I think they need a stadium more than the Buffalo Bills
That's
need a
my
new
point.
stadium.
That's my point. But the Bills are going to get a new stadium.
All right. So listen, let's move on. U.S. Open starts tennis for our Naples fan, Naples resident Mike Garvey.
Right.
He's all psyched. But how about this?
Congratulations to the Joker for winning his 21st Grand Slam.
In advance?
Yeah.
Well, and why? Because guess who's not playing, right? Rafael Nadal, Serena and Venus Williams. How
So,
about this?
so congratulations to Joker.
Yeah.
There's really no debate here.
On the women's side, it's a fill in the blank. It's like a Mad Lib. I don't know who's
Well,
going to win.
Serena's
you know?
not is already out. So
No, exactly. So beside with the two
I understand.
Williams sisters out.
yeah. Well, Venus is not even in contention anymore.
Agreed.
But
I like her though. She's
Right.
been a great ambassador.
it's
for
still
tennis.
the U.S. Open.
It
It's
is.
still
And we're it's the first time, obviously, in like 25 years that those four people are not going to be in the U.S. Open.
Right.
That's a big deal,
It is,
right? It's
but
a
it's
changing of the guard.
right. But it's still the U.S. Open.
Yeah. Looking forward to that, though. It's always awesome, right? And you and I were...
I'm going to assume our loyal listener Mike Garvey is in his tennis outfit right now as he's listening to the show.
Right, he's hitting balls off his garage wall or
Right.
something. Yeah.
Working that left.
And Steven, you and I watched, and I never even knew there was a movie on the Borg McEnroe from a tennis perspective.
Right.
Sheil above playing John McEnroe. On the surface, you'd say, I'm not wasting 2 seconds watching it.
Absolutely.
But it was awesome.
It was great. It was great.
And we remember watching the match,
So that,
which is so
our point
fun.
is there's a movie, Borg McEnroe. I didn't even know it existed.
I did not either.
And I stumbled across it.
Yep.
And it was fantastic. It really was.
We sat there going, I can't watch this. And then we go, I can't turn it off.
And then I forgot that Bjorn Borg retired at 26 years old after winning 5 straight Wimbledon. 26?
No, he was not 26.
26 is when he retired.
Really?
Yes.
But this was the U.S. Open, right? And
Well, the Wimbledon.
the Wimbledon we watched, he won like 5 in a row. He was
That's what I'm
fun.
referring to. Yeah.
Awesome. 2 thumbs up from a Monahan review. Right?
We highly recommend our tennis fans to check this out.
Big time.
And listen, like to your point, Shia LaBeouf, right? I mean, he's like Justin Bieber or something, right?
Right.
Or off the screen.
I got you.
But I tell you
I know
what,
where you're
he
going.
pulled off McEnroe,
And the guy who played Bjorn Borg looked like Bjorn
did a
Borg.
great job. Did a great
I
job.
don't even know who he was, but he was awesome.
He looked like Bjorn Borg,
But we remember watching those matches,
Live.
and that's why we can't wait. 2 weeks from today,
But even watching the movie, we were engrossed. Like
because it brought us back to watching it and how
Right.
awesome it was.
right, but watching it live,
Yeah.
that tiebreaker thing, you have to watch this.
Exactly.
Just to bring you back to that era.
Yeah.
And that was one of the greatest matches, if not the greatest match
This-
ever played.
That's so tough in tennis because we've seen so many things we would term
Yes.
as that was the best match ever, right?
This is up there in
I
discussion.
know, but then you throw Federer.
Loyal listener Garvey, we look forward to your opinion on this.
Right, but then you throw in the Nadal, Federer, Wimbledon, it gets better and better. But,
Yes.
but we're big tennis fans, and the U.S. Open is coming back.
I'm not
and
diminishing that. I'm saying this is absolutely up for discussion as
Yep.
far as
But there's going to be, like I said, on the men's side, I think we know who's going to win. On the women's side, it's wide open.
very wide,
Wide
open.
open.
Sure.
So, moving on. Couple things. Travers Day today. All right? And you and I, we talked about with our friend Corey Cole, the big horse guy. But the Travers today, Essential Quality Midnight Bourbon Rematch. And listen, horse racing, Saratoga's winding down, but today is the Travers.
Right.
And that is the marquee of the Saratoga weekend.
Maybe soggy.
Yep. It's been sloppy for
Right. I mean,
good portion. Most rain on the
as
East
we're
Coast.
broadcasting, rain is imminent
Yep.
and big rain.
But I think we'll just my little preview. I don't see Essential Quality losing this race regardless of the conditions. He's the best horse in the race. But
All right.
the Travers weekend, big deal up in Saratoga.
Right.
So what else is going on? The FedEx, right? We're in the midst of this. How about this? Breaking news. Not breaking news. Like Bryson DeChambeau missed a 6-foot putt for a 59 yesterday, but a
Good.
60 is pretty impressive.
It is. I'll give him
Don't
credit.
diminish it.
I'll give him credit.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I said it's going to be soggy. It was very soggy last weekend.
Yeah, it was.
And Liberty National, right? It got delayed till Monday.
The Northern Trust.
And Rahm was winning.
Yeah.
And your boy Tony Finau
Yes, finally.
won his first tournament.
Glad you brought it up.
I believe since 2016.
5 years.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And he was, behind a couple
Perennial,
strokes here and there. And
Perennial
so on.
top 10 guy for years.
I was very happy for him to win
Big
that.
time. I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to mention it too.
Yeah.
And, but it was so funny. They go to extra holes, and Cam Smith, Australian kid, young kid, only 28 years old, and his first drive, he hit it like me, into the Hudson River kind of thing.
Right.
But he earned it. Tony Finau came
Hooked
back.
it. Damn.
Great match, and I'm happy for him. And I hope that propels him to the Ryder Cup team.
And the point,
because that's coming
no,
up.
I think Tony Finau will be on that. The thing about this guy is top 10 finishes, like all the time. Third, fourth, second.
Not like
fifth.
Louis' resume
No.
of being second at least 5 times.
But on Saturday, Tony would be either there winning this, that.
Yeah, he creeps up
blah,
on
blah, blah.
Saturday.
But my point is, golf, oh my God. What a monkey off his back.
Yeah.
I was happy for him.
So this is the BMX championship this weekend, and so the FedEx Cup, the field is narrowing down.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Ryder Cup, Stricker's got to make his picks, his captain's picks.
Yeah, well, Stricker actually made a statement this week that he talked to Brooks and DeChambeau.
And they could work it out during this thing.
They both said they will cease fire.
Yeah.
However, knowing Brooks Koepka...
Like a boa constrictor and a mongoose.
No, but
right?
knowing Brooks Koepka, I think he probably went into that conversation saying, keep this amongst the three of us. I don't think Brooks liked the fact that Stricker went public that they're going to do a ceasefire. Is he going to pair those two? Stricker was like, no. You know why? Because Brooks Koepka would get on an airplane.
But it's got to be a black cloud in the room. It drives
Well,
them
they
both
don't have
crazy.
to. They don't have to socialize.
They're staying in the same hotel.
They're not going to
That,
be paired together.
It's an
Okay?
interesting dynamic, though, and the Ryder Cup.
Country comes first.
Yeah.
The president, the Ryder Cup, and all this.
Right, we got
We've
Steve
only
Stricker.
won 2. What, in 20 years?
Exactly. But we got Steve Stricker, the captain of the U.S.
Yeah.
And Padraig Harrington,
Well, I'm looking.
multiple major
I'm
winner.
looking forward to this. I
Big
really
ti-
am.
Big time.
Absolutely.
All our golf fans should be looking for, right? The Tour Championship is coming, but how about the payday in golf? Who win? You know what the winner of the FedEx Cup gets?
$1 billion.
15 mil.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
Pretty good, huh? So
Things are well at FedEx.
they are,
Yes,
apparently.
yes.
Things are well on the PGA Tour as
But
well.
back to the Ryder Cup. My only memory I can just come right out and say is Justin Leonard.
Was that Brookline or something?
Yeah, but he hit this 30-foot putt or something. And
Yeah, he
we
did.
were losing. We
Yeah.
came back.
I think that was
Justin
Brookline.
Leonard. I think, if I remember correctly, hit the big putt.
And they went off and they were popping champagne. It was pretty cool,
Right.
actually.
But again, like I said,
it's a big rivalry.
we've only won 2 out of the last 20.
Yeah, exactly. We lost on our own turf the last couple of times, too, I think.
I'm scared of the Molinari brothers.
Hey, listen, Ryder Cup record's probably pretty good.
Totally.
Some guys thrive in this environment, right?
Of course.
Especially the Europeans. right?
Absolutely. Don't mess with the Molinari.
Oh, like to have who's going to be one of the Patrick's captains?
Lee Westwood.
Right, or Darren Clark.
What are you kidding? Darren Clark is in the
He'll
ball.
bring the keg and
Totally. What are you kidding?
I actually met Darren Clark when I went to the U.S. Open in Shinnecock Hills.
Oh, you did, eh?
And he
You want to
was,
go for a pint?
he was expecting this exactly how you would expect it.
Right.
10 pints down and raring to go. Very nice guy, though. Very nice
Absolutely.
guy.
Darren Clark is one of the good guys
You
on
bet.
tour, man.
You bet. So listen, let's move on to our random points of interest segment. Couple of things real quick. Elena Deladon, back to the WNBA, and you and I talked about her at least a year ago, and just a classy act, great
Special
player,
needs sister.
big
She
time.
has.
But she had back issues, and
She
she
did.
came back in her first game. She pops in 16.
But first and foremost, let's remind the audience, she is a good egg.
Good-hearted person.
I was very happy for her to come back.
Yeah.
Back issues, but she is. Listen, she's a special player.
She really is.
It was good to see
She's
her.
a very special person too.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up. Keir Bowers, who's a dear family member of mine, former Wayne Valley All-County football player, had a good friend, Alex Changum, who was signed by the Seattle Seahawks. And it's a great story because he was undrafted out of Colorado from Cameroon and, got this chance. And I was following him very closely, and unfortunately, I have to report, I thought he was going to make the team, but he got released by the Seahawks. But a very nice guy, good story. How many guys from Cameroon have ever played in the NFL?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully he rebounds and signs with somebody else. But one of those stories about a guy that gets a chance, who didn't play high school football, and then got to try out for the Seattle Seahawks. It's a good story.
It's a feel-good story.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets another chance, another team. I'm sure another team is going to sign him.
Exactly.
And let's see.
His
dream is not over yet.
and he's a beast. He's just looks like Mount Rushmore. But here, random point of interest. Here's a name. I mean, we were just talking about golf and stuff, but Rod Pampling, right? Former PGA guy, and never, always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wins his first senior tour win, and I was like, oh, I remember him. He was always kind of in the mix.
Right.
Rod
I remember that
Pampling.
guy. He never won.
He never won, but he
That's cool.
He won on the senior
Ah, that's
tour.
great.
First time.
Oh, that's outstanding.
I love watching these guys. These are the guys that you and I grew up watching, and they were youngsters, and now they're playing.
Totally.
We're finally getting the chance to see.
It's Sunday coverage. Tom Weiskopf is winning. Hale Irwin in second, and Rod Pampling is in third.
Right, but how we used to love to watch Ernie Els, and I walked with him for 18 holes at a U.S. Open at Oakmont once.
Yeah.
And now he's back on playing, and I love to watch Ernie Els play.
Ernie Els, good guy.
Yeah. Little League World Series.
Yep.
Right? It's been pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it last week, and the kid didn't disappoint. This kid, Gavin
Oh,
Weir.
boy, he really called that. What, he threw a second no-hitter or
He
something?
did. He did.
I'm gonna go on. Hawaii is probably formidable, but this kid in South Dakota.
Well, you're the handicapper, not me. I'm not going either way. You never know how it's going to work out in the Little League World Series. But this kid, they did this little clip of side-by-side of Chris Sale.
Oh.
And it looked, he's 13. Chris Sale is probably 35, whatever.
No.
But amazing. And
Yeah.
feel-good story. And you and I, we know about the Lloyd McClendons and the Chris Drurys and the Todd Frazier's.
Sure.
This kid is somebody to keep an eye on. Hopefully someday pitches in Major League Baseball.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good story.
Love that.
Lights out guy, right?
I wanted to bring up a notable thing.
Go ahead.
The Pac-12, Big Ten, ACC.
Alliance? What
Well-
does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
Well, the Pac-12 backed out, which I don't know if that's going to officially mean they're not going to re-engage, but I'll give the Pac-12 credit for backing out, okay? So the Big Ten, ACC,
this
they
is all
have
confusing
to,
to me.
well, they have to combine. They
Right,
have to.
because of the whole SEC
Yes.
thing, right?
Yes.
I get it,
They
but I
have
don't
to.
know what that means. Like,
Well, the wild card is the Big 12, the Iowa states, the Oklahoma states, the teams that are being left high and dry here, right? They don't have Texas and Oklahoma anymore.
I know.
So is the Big 12, they got West Virginia, but it's not the Big 12 because
what is
Texas and Oklahoma are leaving.
Yeah.
So you want to be relevant?
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out. But
Yeah.
my point is the Pac-12 as of now will not combine Big Ten, ACC.
All right. Well, it's still a work in progress.
It is.
'cause
It most
all
certainly
about,
is.
like you said, it's all about.
It most certainly is. And Paul Feinbaum, you know him?
Certainly.
I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan.
He's hard to look at, but he knows what he's talking about.
He
you
is.
know?
However, I caught a clip of him the other day, and his question was about Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. He goes, and this guy, why I like him is he just says what he thinks, like we do.
What's to say about
so
this?
Jim Harbaugh, his opinion was, Jim Harbaugh has been an utter disaster at Michigan. He won't be called back next year. They're going to fire him at the end of the year.
Well, he said that last year. Paul Feinbaum said that last year.
Right, but Michigan re-upped him. But I love that.
Yeah.
Big Paul Feinbaum fan.
I like him. He's
For
in the
our
know.
audience,
No
college
question.
football, Feinbaum
It's
fan.
back. I agree. But listen, also, point of interest, our beloved St. Joe's, first game of the season. High school football is back in
Yes,
New Jersey.
it is.
And they're playing a team, Good Counsel from Maryland.
Yes.
What, if you want to look at, and then the next week they play St. Francis Academy.
Correct.
Who they did a 30 for 30 on this team. So, and then they come home and then they play 7 of the toughest parochial high school football teams in the state of New Jersey, even in the country. So it's a first.
Boy,
game
did the
for them.
Monahan brothers blaze the trail for this to happen.
Well, we like to think so.
We
I
did.
mean, I mean, we certainly weren't as renowned as the program is today, but however,
We did all the dirty work for these boys to have this.
But listen, we
Right,
didn't-
Coach Gavin? Good luck today, buddy.
we certainly do.
Our loyal listener, Al Gavin, we
Yep.
went to school with, is on the staff at St.
Teammates,
Joe's.
yep.
We love Al Gavin.
Big time.
And good luck.
But they got their hands full with these 2 teams from Maryland. And it's just
We're
great
pretty
football,
good.
You know,
We're pretty good.
looking forward to it. You know, didn't go to one high school football game last year. So
Nobody
this
did,
is, you know,
for the most part.
So we're back in it. So Steve, unfortunately, we move on to our notable segment, notable passing segment, and I'm going to give the mic to you because I know who the first one you want to mention. And,
Listen,
unfortunately, we have a list to get through. So.
I understand, but Charlie Watts, the drummer of the Rolling Stones, passed away.
know.
Anybody that knows me, my brother Tom, Jim, Rolling Stones, number 1.
Yep.
Charlie Watts, to me, gracious, the backbeat of the Rolling Stones.
Yep.
I used to have all these like debates, like people be like, Charlie Watts sucked as the drummer. I'm like, shut up, right? But I read, I'll finish quickly on this. Max Weinberg and Stuart Copeland,
East Street Band drummer, of course.
right,
you
and
know.
Stuart Copeland from the Police.
Yeah.
They wrote, I don't know, a few paragraphs each on what Charlie Watts meant to them.
That's a good story.
And I swear to God, you guys should look this up.
Yeah.
They revered him. Charlie Watts.
Revered across rock and roll and music in general.
I mean, Charlie Watts even said, he goes, I'm not a rock and roll guy. I'm a jazz lover, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, he's a jazz
but
guy.
he was the backbeat of the Rolling Stones. I think his drumming is awesome. He's revered.
Yeah.
And the funny story is, about Charlie real quick is, which is famous, is, Mick calls him middle of the night, hotel. Charlie Watts loved Savile Row suits. He dressed impeccably, blah, blah, blah. Was always faithful to his wife, etc. It was just a great...
Married over 50 years.
57.
Yeah.
But Charlie Watts got dressed, put on a shirt, tie,
Skinny tie. Right? Yeah.
the whole regale. Walked down the stairs in the hotel, saw Jagger. Because Jagger said, "Where is my drummer?" Charlie Watts walks down the stairs, walks up to Jagger, punches him in the face, and said, "F you, you're my singer."
Good story.
And I went back to bed.
Yeah.
Charlie Watts,
80 years
I
old.
loved him, and I'm
Big R.I.P.
I've been mourning really for 4 days now.
Yep.
Love him.
I know you're a
R.I.P.
Rolling Stones guy, and
R.I.P.
Charlie was.
Charlie.
A lot of people said that was the heartbeat of that band.
You better
which is,
believe
you
it.
know,
The rhythm section was Charlie and Keith.
yeah, and you're right. He was a big jazz, just a brilliant musician.
But just a gentleman and,
Yep.
and just a great guy.
Another big one in the world of music was Don Everly.
Yeah,
and,
it's another big one.
You know, from my perspective, what Charlie Watts meant to you, Don Everly meant to me. People said, these guys played in the 50s and 60s. I go, but it was great. And, somebody my age worshiping the Everly Brothers, hit after hit after hit, and he was the last remaining. Phil passed away 5 years ago. Don Everly, 84, but I tell you,
Icon.
I loved the Everly Brothers.
Right.
Right? Wake Up Little Susie is one of the
course.
coolest
I mean, the
tunes ever.
influence they had on the music that
And
we
just
love.
like the Stones and the Beatles, they just had hit after hit that you'd say, oh, I've heard that song. I've heard that song. And you know what? People in the music business came out and said, this guy, even Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones said, Don Everly was one of the best rhythm guitar players in all of music. How big a compliment can you get than that?
It's pretty good.
Big time.
R.I.P.
Yep, Don Everly. Another one, Tom T. Hall, big country music guy, and he was 85 years old, and people say, yeah, I don't know if I know him. You know him. He wrote Harper Valley PTA. How about that?
Yeah,
And he's got a resume that's way beyond that. But
sure.
Tom T. Hall, 85,
R.I.P.
big in the music world. Jimmy Hayes from
Yeah,
31-year-old Boston College player, NHL player,
brother of Kevin.
Kevin's brother. Very
Died-
tragic story, father of two.
Died unexpectedly.
Yeah, 31 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
When
Ex-Devil, cup of coffee really.
he
in the
played for 4
NHL.
different teams. I think,
But-
you know.
Listen, anybody 31 years old with kids passing away, R.I.P.
Yep. And here's another one, Steve. One lad, Jerry Harkness, played on the Chicago, Loyola Chicago.
Yes.
That team that went through just an incredible racism and just
Yep.
unbelievable. He was always an ambassador for the basketball world, and
Right.
he was a pioneer.
Yes.
And he was 81 years old, but he was on that championship team, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention that. for sure,
Absolutely.
you know?
R.I.P. Jerry Harkness.
So listen, it's been a tough week from the notable passings, but we're so glad that you could join us. And
I will say this. I think I told you this when you and I spoke during the week. To me, Charlie Watts passing is the most notable of the notables that we've covered.
yeah,
That's what he meant to me.
I know he did. But listen, we would love to hear your feedback. Please send us an email at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
And hope you enjoy all the sports that's going on. And thanks for joining us. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
You got it. Okay.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.